Hello and welcome to Peak TV. I'm Priyanshi Sharma, and with me it's Abhijeet Dipke, the founder of the Cockroach Janta Party, a week after the CJP got its first victory at Jantar Mantar with Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation. Abhijeet, thanks very much for joining us today. And my first question to you is going to be that for the last 1 week, we've seen a lot happening. We've seen that even after the protest ended, some people were detained allegedly, some people's accounts were taken down, social media posts were taken down. But we'll get to all of that. In this interview, for our viewers, I want to tell you all that we are going to discuss what's next for the Cockroach Janta Party. Is Abhijeet Dipke going to become a full-time politician now? Or what are his plans? What is the CJP going to do next? What is the CJP's explanation for being on mainstream media channels? Because that's a criticism that they've been getting. So we'll cover it all. But first, I want to ask you, Abhijeet, that over the last 1 week, you've been in Maharashtra. You went back home from Delhi after the protest ended. Tell us what the last 1 week was like, because you've also said that you got calls threatening you to join the BJP.
Yeah, so last 1 week has been like really hectic after the resignation because I was also diagnosed with typhoid, and that is why I was in Delhi for 3 days. Even after the protest, I was just recovering, getting my treatment, and once I got my report negative, the second report, and that is when I came back home. And since then, I have been trying to spend some time with my family, but it's getting really difficult because people are coming here at my home and they just want to meet, say hi, and congratulate. And that is also very important because they are coming from far away. I mean, some people were here from Lucknow, and I was like, oh my god, ye kya ho raha hai? So that is how things have been recently in last 1 week.
And what about the BJP offers? Because I saw two video bites, one in which your mother was saying that you're getting marriage proposals, and the other in which you were saying you're getting proposals, not proposals, but threats to join the BJP. So tell us about both of these offers.
Well, like every Indian middle class parent, my parents' dream is to get me married as soon as possible. And my mother has been after that since a very long time. And now she's like, at least now get married.
Hmm.
Because what you're doing is like, we can't deal with this. You need someone, a partner who can deal with this thing. We cannot deal with this right now. But I've been telling them that it's still very soon and don't get into all of that right now. And what was the second question?
About
Sorry, I was.
the offers to
Yes.
join the BJP, because
Yeah, I
that's what I
mean,
said,
yeah,
that I
yes.
saw two versions. Your mother saying that you're getting marriage proposals, while you were saying you were getting offers to join the BJP.
Yeah, I mean that is how the language is, threats and join BGP, it's better for you. If you don't, then we'll do something to you, this kind of stuff. This is not the first time. I mean, I've been getting that since day one while I was in the US, but that's how things are now. And I think that are the consequences that one has to live with if you're going to speak up against this government.
Who are these calls from, and can you tell us what
Total
are the
strangers.
exact threats that you get?
Total strangers. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are the exact threats? Are these violent threats, or they're just asking you to join the BJP? What exactly do they say?
लाइक बहुत ज़्यादा बोल रहा है, पीछे हट जा, अच्छा होगा तेरे लिए, वो सब, लाइक ऑल दैट स्टफ।
Hmm. Okay. So, Abhijit, now I also first want to address some criticism that the Cockroach Janta Party and you guys have gotten over the last few days. After the victory of the CJP and of the youth protest at large on Saturday, you, of course, got a lot of praise, you got appreciation. Several people felt seen in this protest. Lakhs of youngsters felt seen in this protest. They felt that their voice is finally heard by their own government. But at the same time, over the last 1 month, it was you guys who were criticizing legacy media, TV news channels, and you were saying that they are blocking out our protest. And if they're not blocking out, then they're coming and painting this protest in a different color, or they are defaming our protest in some way or the other. So while that is what you guys were saying for the last 1 month, immediately after the protest ended, we saw that your spokespeople, Saurav Das, Ashutosh Ranka, were sitting on debates on these channels, and even you were on Aaj Tak this morning. I was watching. So, what was the reason for this change in the CJP's stand, if at all?
No, actually, we thought we'll go there and we'll tell them what they were doing all this while. Even on आज तक I said that 20 दिन तक आप लोग कहाँ थे? आप आए नहीं थे, क्यों नहीं आए थे? आपके लिए स्टूडेंट्स की जो आवाज़ है वो इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं थी। सोनम सर 18 दिनों के अनशन पर थे, 18 दिन तक कोई आया, सॉरी 26 दिन के अनशन पर थे, but the mainstream media came after 18 days. So that was to, kind of expose them on their own platforms. And that we will do because they need to be confronted. So that's what we were doing. Even Saurav and all whoever has went, they have said the same thing. And that's what even I did with on Aaj Tak. Like, why did not you cover the protest? Is the students' voice not important for you, or are you just going to be a spokesperson of a particular ruling party? So that
Hmm.
was the intention behind that.
But Abhijit, a lot of people felt betrayed by this because you also know that these mainstream, these legacy news channels, their anchors, some of their reporters were heckled at this protest. Some of them were beaten up at this protest. That's how much hate people carried against some of these news channels. To then go and be a part of them and to be a part of their shows, that gave a sense of betrayal to some of these protesters, and they also said it. They've sent us asked these questions as well, which is why we're asking. While you say that this might have been to go and tell them what they were doing, or you're saying this was to expose them, but this also showed people that you're sitting on the same stage with them, while all this time you were saying that these people are against you or these people are anti you, and their reporters actually faced heckling and violence because of this hate.
No, we'll take that into consideration. Definitely, if you are telling me that many people have reached out to you expressing their concern, we will definitely take that into consideration. And the fact is that after Arthak, you are the person that I'm giving interview to. There were other media channels lining up at the down of like near my house, but I've said no because I want to give interviews to the people who have been there covering the protest since day one, be it for good or be it for bad. But at least you guys were covering on since day one, and that is why my priority is to give interviews to you all first.
Right. So now let's come to the protest. And now that we've first addressed the criticism, I want to now ask you that you've had a week to think about everything that happened over the last 40 days or so. When we started covering this protest, as you mentioned, we've been covering it since the start. We never thought that a resignation was a possibility. And
Even I
I
did
think,
not think.
yeah, I don't think anybody can say that, oh, I knew this was going to happen. Nobody was wise enough to know that this could be a possibility. Even the most senior political pundits or journalists of this country, nobody would be able to see this. Nobody saw this coming. When you were making this demand of Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation, did you also believe in this demand, or you also thought that we are creating pressure for something, this might not happen, something else might happen? Did you think this was a possibility at all?
I did not think that it was a possibility, and I did not actually believe that the education minister might actually resign. But what was more necessary was to fight for it, and that's what we were doing. We want to fight for it. We want to fight to bring back the accountability, at least to bring the questions at the forefront on the kind of things that Dharmendra Pradhan has done as the education of minister under his tenure. Paper got leaked after leaked, and that also resulted in the deaths of the students. And that is why we felt that there should be a discussion on this, and not just discussion, there should be a demand for accountability. And that was more important to put up a fight. And what this has proved is that if you put up a fight, you might get the results as well. What is necessary is to put up a fight.
Hmm. So you also, when you were making this demand, you didn't think that it'll happen, but you thought that it's still worth fighting for.
Yeah, that's what it was all about, to fight for the things, to fight for. I mean, it's a democracy, and we have seen in the past that people were not allowed to protest. People were threatened whenever they come out on the streets with cases, FIRs, which is still happening.
Hmm.
And that's what message we wanted to give, that we are going to fight no matter what the consequences are.
So when you first found out that Saturday afternoon that the resignation has happened, we all watched that video of you getting a call from somebody. Who was that call from, first of all, and what was your first thought?
That call was from one of my team member who called up me because I saw it on the Twitter and it was saying sources. Then I got a call from one of my team member and said, "अरे भाई हो गया चला गया चला गया." I was like,
Hmm.
सही में चला गया क्या? तो कहता
Hmm.
है कंफर्म है। मैंने बोला दोबारा चेक करो, फिर से कंफर्म करो एक बार because as you know, this government plants many things through sources. a day before the resignation, they were planting stories that sources says that there won't be any resignation. That's why we were still very skeptical even when the news was out, and we just
Hmm.
wanted to ensure. And when I finally got confirmation, I was like, yes,
So,
finally.
was your first reaction disbelief even after you got the news confirmed? Is
The
it still
first reaction
disbelief?
was even more interesting, which did not get captured.
Hmm.
So I was meeting some people near the stage, and I was kind of talking to them, getting photos clicked. They wanted to get some photos clicked, and a reporter came to me, and he just was trying to tell me this news. And I thought maybe that reporter is just asking for an interview. And I was like, "रुक जाओ ना यार, आप क्या कर रहे हो? Let me talk to people." So I was talking to people. Then he again interrupted. Just give me a second and listen out to me. I was like, "रुक जाओ यार, मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, आप लोग सुनते क्यों नहीं हो?"
Hmm.
Then I went back again to talking to people, and then he again came back and he was like, भाई सुन तो ले. मैंने बोला हाँ बोल क्या हुआ? He was like, इस्तीफा हो गया. Then I was like, क्या? आजा आजा अंदर आजा. So this was the first immediate reaction. I was like, तू सच बोल रहा है ना? तू वापस से स्टोरी तो नहीं प्लान कर रहा है कोई? तो कहता नहीं
Hmm.
भाई कंफर्म है. And I was like, यार रुको रुको, मुझे पहले टीम मेंबर से बात करने दो, मुझे भरोसा नहीं है मीडिया वालों पर.
So it was disbelief when
It
you
was
first
total
heard it,
disbelief. Yeah.
and now you finally believe it. Now you've come to terms with it, and now how do you feel that while this became a youth movement, that was, I would say that this became a youth movement that became a lot bigger than the Cockroach Janta Party or bigger than Abhijeet Dipke or Saurav Das or Ashutosh
And we
Ranka.
are really glad because that's what we intended. We never wanted it to be a movement limited to CJP or Abhijit or Sonam Sur or Saurabh. It
Right.
had to be a pan-India movement because no movement can succeed unless and until it becomes a public movement. So we were really glad. And actually, what changed? The lathi charge on the 20th July, the brutality shown by the Delhi police on 28th July, that kind of gave a new turn to this movement, where we saw people protesting across India. And I think that is what made the government go back and like
Hmm.
reconsider that it's in the best interest to sack Dharmendra Pradhan if they wouldn't have, because this anger could have gone on the government in totality.
Hmm. So now that you've had time to think, how do you feel that something that started as a satire, started as a joke, started as from a comment by the Chief Justice of India? You know, funnily enough, some people are calling not you but CGI Suryakant the founder of the Cockroach
I mean,
Janta
I
Party.
believe that the real credit goes to him. Had he
Yeah,
not used the word cockroach, I wouldn't have come back to India. There would have been no CJP. There would have been no hunger strike by Mr. Sonam Wangchuk. There wouldn't have been thousands and lakhs of people on the streets across India. So, through your medium as well, I would like to thank the Chief Justice of India. Thank you, sir, for calling us cockroaches, and thank you for waking us up.
so he's the real founder. The CGI
Yes,
is the real founder of the
he's the
Cockroach
real
Janta Party.
catalyst.
Right. So to for something that started as a satire, what I was getting at was that something that started as a joke. I think the Cockroach Janta Party's Instagram page also looked like a meme page at the start or a satire page at the start. For that to become a movement that got a resignation in a government that is that popularly doesn't do resignations. Rajnath Singh had said that हमारी सरकार में इस्तीफे नहीं होते हैं. So for that kind of a government that forget resignations, a government that does not even acknowledge protests. They call protesters anti-nationals or tukre tukre or some such tags. So for a meme to cause such a change in a government that is otherwise seen as very stern and adamant with its own rules and principles, how do you see this entire journey? While I say that it became a youth movement, it is a movement that was started by you guys.
I think what happened in India was really fascinating because in India, whenever you have seen people protesting, even social activists and politicians, all of them are very serious, very monotonous. They have that this serious tone where they talk with too much polished language. And this was the first time where a political movement, I will still call it a political movement. I won't call it a political movement because I believe that everybody should be political. If you call yourself a political, you are ignorant. You need to be socially aware and politically literate because it affects you in every day of your life. So it's for the first time in the history of India where a movement was started through satire, through memes, through humor, and
Hmm.
that achieved a huge success. I think this unlocks many, many doors for social movements going forward in India. And what is the best way to counter a authoritarian regime? To mock them, to make fun of them. And we saw that even after the brutality of the Delhi police unleashed very brutal force on the students. They cracked open their heads, like even as young as girls, 12 years old. They did not even spare them. And many students, many youth were beaten up very brutally. And how did the youth respond? They
Hmm.
responded with more memes. They responded with more placards using humor, satire. And I think that is how it should be. If the government is going to use the force, if the government is going to be brutal, we are going to be savage with our memes and with our humor.
It is truly a new form of protest, which is what we are too young to comment on the protest culture of India. But even uh, people like Yogendra Yadav, he was also commenting that this has started a new era of dissent and of criticism in our country. It's through humor and satire, which often become a few of the. It's also through art, which often becomes one of the most interesting and impactful ways of registering dissent. But you also mentioned that the youth responded with mocking. And that brings me to a case that's currently going on, which is against people who, quote unquote, abused Modi or used expletives or seen swearing at the protest. And there is one young girl, I believe in her 20s, from Noida, and she has been charged, and there's a complaint that has been filed against her as well. And tell us what you are doing about such cases, because these are people who have joined your protests. Tell us first the status of these legal cases and what the Cockroach Janta Party is doing about this. And on the other side, what you think about this form of protest. Is it something that you guys will also acknowledge, and you will also say that there should be no action taken against them, or do you think that for certain kind of abuses there should be action?
So first of all, I would like to make one thing clear that there's a misconception going out there that the CJP is not helping people. It's just that we are very new, and we did not have idea that we have to record everything. We have to get our photo clicked while helping people. We have to get our video shot while trying to send people back home. I personally have talked to many people who wanted to go back home but did not have the money. So we have helped them as well. And many of the people who were raided by the Delhi police in Delhi, I've spoken to them on calls and I have told them that we are there for you and we are going to help you in every legal matter there is. And for that, we are also, working in collaboration with Kapil Sibbal. So we are helping all the people as much as possible. Ratna and Saurav Das has been on it for since day one, but as I said earlier, we are new to this. We did not know that we have to record everything. We have to document our pictures. We have to get our photos and videos clicked while helping people. I personally went to RML. I met the people. I met the families who were injured. And again, my fault. I did not get my photos clicked of that. I was like, this is really serious and this is really sensitive because the families are really concerned. That was a mistake on our part. Next time we will help people. We will ensure that we will get our photo clicked. We will get our calls recorded so that we can upload it on social media so that people will know that we are helping.
You
And
will be a true politician then next time.
what else option do we have? Because I have seen so many prominent people, even some influencers who came on the last day and by helping 20 people, they are saying that I'm the one who is sending everybody home and CGP is nowhere. Boss, we sat there for 40 days. We fought for 40 days. We have helped people. We have been there for the people for 40 days. और आप आखिरी दिन आकर हमें गाली दे रहे हो कि आप लोग कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो। अरे आपको क्या पता है कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो? हमारी पूरी टीम सभी लोगों से कांटेक्ट कर रही है, सभी लोगों को रीच आउट कर रही है, बोल रही है किसी को घर में जाने जाने में दिक्कत होगी तो हमें बता दो, वी विल हेल्प यू आउट। किसी के लीगल केसेस चल रहे हैं तो सारे लोगों को कांटेक्ट कर रहे हैं। जो बिहार गवर्नमेंट का ऑर्डर आया वो किसकी वजह से आया है? सौरभ नेगोशिएट कर रहा है गवर्नमेंट से तभी तो आया है। जो वेस्ट बंगाल का ऑर्डर
Also,
आया वो
I
किस
saw also working with you guys, and you guys were
या
working together.
तो वही हो
Stolen.
रहा है, ये कुछ इन्फ्लुएंसर्स है
Hmm.
जिनको लग रहा है कि आखिर के एक दिन में हम आ जाएंगे और हम अपनी वीडियोस बना लेंगे। वो कर रहे हैं, वो अच्छी बात है, आप करो, अच्छी बात है, हेल्पिंग पीपल इज गुड। बट जस्ट बिकॉज यू आर डूइंग इट, यू आर रिकॉर्डिंग इट and somebody is not recording it, somebody is not posting it on social media, does not mean they are not doing anything, even to
They were saying
generalize.
that as resignation happened, you guys left the location, and there were a lot of people at Jantar Mantar who didn't have the money to go back, and the police kicked them out of Jantar Mantar. And even another story came up of Junaid, that he was also taken up by the police, and he was also
I
harassed.
was
And
called, I did call Junaid 5 days ago. And I asked him, what is the status of your family? He told me that his father has been taken to some police station. And I did tell him that, कुछ भी होता है, we are with you. मुझे बता दो कौन सा police station है, क्या है. We will
hmm,
do everything that is possible to get your family to safety. और चिंता मत करो, मैं आपके साथ रहूंगा. अलग बात है कि मैंने उस पर वीडियो नहीं बनाया कि मैंने अभी अभी जुनेद भाई से बात की और हम आश्वासित करते कि हम जुनेद भाई के साथ खड़े हैं. वो सब नहीं किया हमने. बट मैं जुनेद के कांटेक्ट में था. रत्ना हैज बीन इन टच विद जुनेद. हमारी टीम थी, पूरी टीम लगी हुई थी जुनेद के साथ. तो हम
hmm,
कर रहे हैं यार. बट भैया हम लोगों से एक गलती हो गई कि हमने सोशल मीडिया पर वीडियोस नहीं डाले उस सबके. एंड टू ऑल द
right.
प्रोटेस्टर हु वर देयर, वी वांट टू टेल यू दैट वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू अबैंडन यू. वी हैव नेवर अबैंडन यू. जब इन लोगों को लग रहा था हम कुछ नहीं कर रहे थे, वी वर क्रिएटिंग अ लीगल टीम इन द बैक एंड. हमने एक सर्वर भी खोल दिया है साक्षी, जहां पर यू कैन विजिट ऑन आवर वेबसाइट. यू कैन अपलोड ऑल द एविडेंस ऑफ पुलिस ब्रूटैलिटी. जहां पर पुलिस के कुछ विजुअल्स होंगे आपके पास एज एविडेंस, वो जाकर अपलोड करिए. एंड वी आर गोइंग टू ड्रैग ऑल पुलिस ऑफिसर्स हु वर ब्रूटल टू स्टूडेंट्स टू द कोर्ट्स. वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू स्पेयर देम. और बाकी किसी भी स्टूडेंट को जो पीसफुली प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे थे, बिकॉज एक महीने से प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे थे, स्टूडेंट्स ने कहीं से भी कुछ गलत नहीं किया. ये सारे बाहर से भेजे हुए गुंडे थे who were disrupting the protest. And I have been making this prediction since day one that soon the BJP will send its goons and will try to disrupt the protest, and the police will help them. And that is exactly what happened.
So you're saying that the people who were abusing or abusing PM Modi or those kind of posters, they were also people who were sent. They were not a part of the protest.
No, I have not seen the video yet, on the particular thing you're talking about. बट अब्यूजिंग भी मतलब स्टूडेंट्स का कौन सा अब्यूज है? मैंने तो नहीं सुना स्टूडेंट्स का किसी को भी अब्यूज करते हुए. और अब्यूज पर भी बात आ ही रही है. तो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट व्हाट योगी आदित्यनाथ सेड टू द ANI कैमरा पर्सन. उसका एक वीडियो काफी वायरल है, मैंने पोस्ट भी करा है. लेट्स टॉक अबाउट रमेश बिधूरी ने पार्लियामेंट में क्या बोला था एक मुस्लिम MP को. The kind of words they use, the kind of words this ruling party has been using, वो कौन से संस्कार है यार आपके? आप स्टूडेंट्स के संस्कार बता रहे हो. ये जनरेशन थोड़ी आउटस्पोकन है, लेकिन गाली गलौज कोई नहीं कर रहा है इस जनरेशन में. और जो
नहीं,
कर रहे
थोड़ा
होंगे
बहुत, yeah, we also heard that there was gali galoch, and we also heard a little bit of that. But
और
do you
जो लोग
think
कर
that?
रहे होंगे उनको भी कहना चाहता हूँ कि मत करो, कोई पॉइंट नहीं. वी डोंट हैव टू एंड अप लाइक द BJP पीपल. ये लोग पार्लियामेंट में गाली गलौज करते हैं. इनका चीफ मिनिस्टर ANI वाले कैमरा पर्सन को गाली देता है. हम लोगों को उन जैसा नहीं बनना है.
So the cases that might be filed against these people who were seen abusing, or if accounts and more accounts and posts are taken down, you guys will help those people as well.
एंड उनके ऊपर एक्शन हो रहा है. तो जो बीजेपी के चीफ मिनिस्टर से, बीजेपी के MPs है जो गाली गलौज करते हैं पार्लियामेंट के अंदर, उनके ऊपर भी केसेस करो. हाउ आर दे स्टिल अलाउड टू बी इन द पार्लियामेंट? व्हाई देयर आर टू डिफरेंट लॉज, वन फॉर द स्टूडेंट्स एंड वन फॉर द MPs ऑफ द BJP? Everybody should be treated equally then.
Right. And you also mentioned importantly that you will be pushing for action against those cops who were responsible for brutality on students. Tell
Yes.
us a little bit about that. What is the CJP now doing for the police brutality and for those cops who were behind it? Because today there was also a press conference by the family members of the cops who got injured. So today what they're telling the world is that there are a lot of cops who also got injured. So it was also violence from the from the protesters' side. So the police had to resort to violence. So what do you have to say to that?
The violence was not from the protesters' side. The violence was from the side of the people who were sent by the BJP to create disruptions in the protest. We have seen there were many police officers in civil dresses who were trying to, kind of create disruptions. One of the person who is not even a police officer, he was given a lathi by the police to beat up students, and he was beating up students along with the police. So the police was in hand in gloves with the goons. And on 19th of July night, I have seen a truck loaded with stones was parked near Jantar Mantar. That was parked by the police. The police is parking a truck loaded with stones near Jantar Mantar, and the next day the BJP goons comes and hurled stones at police. So I feel sad for the police because they got beaten up by the same people who were giving them instructions. It's the BJP who has orchestrated all this.
So the cops who got beaten up, you are saying that those were beaten up by, or the cops who got attacked in any way, you're saying that was all done by people sent by the
Of course,
BJP.
Priyanshi, we have been covering this protest since day one. We have been there for 36 days. Out of 36 days, how many days did you see that we were getting violent or we were getting provocative? We have been there sitting peacefully for more than a month. This was
Hmm.
all orchestrated by the BJP.
Yeah, it was the last few days, especially after July 20th, is when we
Yes.
started seeing stone pelting on
Yeah.
Parliament Street. So, since you're saying that these people were sent by the BJP, they were not protesters. That's what the court has also said, that do not file cases against genuine protesters who were just peacefully protesting. But the cases against history sheeters or the cases against those people who were, of course,
I have a
violent,
question
those
on this. How were so many history sheeters roaming freely?
they might have not been convicted of their crimes. They might have been still accused, or they might be out on bail. So there could be history cheaters like that.
But this is the failure of the police, na then. Was the police there only deployed to beat students with lathis and not to provide security? What were so many criminals or history cheaters as they are being claimed? What were they doing at Jantar Mantar? The police was so thorough with the checking, they were not allowing water bottles. They were not allowing even food to come inside Jantar Mantar. How did so many history cheaters came inside the police station? This cannot happen without the police permission.
And during the last few days, they stopped checking people also.
Yeah.
They stopped checking bags. They stopped, even the checking counters were all removed. So,
So this was
uh,
all well planned.
right. Okay. So, cases against those history cheaters or cases against those people who were behind the violence or behind stone pelting, those should continue, right? That's
Of
what the
course, if there
CDP
is
will
a
also.
history cheater, they should be dealt with the law.
Yeah. And people who might be behind that stone pelting or behind that violence,
Of course, of
those
course, of course,
should be
of
dealt
course.
with.
Because I've been telling since day one that we are law-abiding citizens, we are non-violent people, and our protest will be peaceful.
Hmm. Now, I want to ask you, what's the status of the demands? The resignation of Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan happened right there, and we saw it. It happened real time. Your other demand was 1 crore compensation for the families of the students who died by suicide, more than 20 students who died by suicide. What's the status of that compensation?
We
Till
are
when
waiting for
will
the
these?
government to announce it as soon as possible. But I don't understand why it's taking so long. When you have to topple a government, you do it overnight. When you have to buy MLAs, when you have to buy MPs, you do it overnight. When overnight, throwing hundreds of crores. But when it comes to giving compensation to the families, you are saying there are some norms that we have to look through and we have to work on some norms. Why is that required? Why always the norms come in between whenever the citizens are in dire need? Why does not it come? Why does the norms and rules come in between when you have to topple governments, buy MLAs, buy MPs? I
Yeah,
hope
but have you agreed to the 1 crore
the
amount?
compensation. Yeah, 1 crore
Okay.
amount is nothing. Nothing. It's nothing. These people spend so many hundreds of crores to purchase MLAs and MPs.
Hmm. So, do you have a timeline that you would expect this demand to be fulfilled within? Because if it goes endlessly, then even though the government might have met this demand,
No,
but if they're not actually transferring this money, then what does that acceptance mean?
if they don't transfer the money, if they don't announce it soon, we will hit the streets again, and the government shouldn't be in any misconception that the anger has died down or cooled down. It has not. After the brutality and the way the government is harassing students all over the country, the anger is only growing and people will come out on the streets even in large numbers.
You're saying you will protest again if the compensation is not transferred by when?
Yes, yes, that's right.
By what time?
We are just giving them time. We are still in talks with them, and if they don't do it soon, then we will be announcing the date as well.
Okay. And this I want to ask you, that we're hearing this a lot from you and your spokespeople also, that if the government doesn't do this, we will again sit on a protest, we will again sit on a dharna. And this brings me to the question on what is next for the Cockroach Janta Party. Is this going to be, and there's nothing wrong with that, is this going to be your usual your sort of everyday work, which is to be a pressure group that tells the government that we will protest, we will hit the streets, and we will continue to build pressure if our demands are not met? Or are you planning to register the Cockroach Janta Party as a political party? What is it that you're seeing the
But
Cockroach Janta Party?
we are definitely not thinking of launching a political party because I believe there are plenty of political parties in India, and we are seeing what is their condition is. Half of their MPs and MLAs are being poached, and half of them are struggling with vote deletion, SIR, and everything. What we want to do is that we want to remain a political pressure group that will compel the government to bring back accountability, to bring back transparency in the Indian political system, governance system, and more importantly, to address the needs of the people. That is, India today is struggling because of great unemployment. Like 80% of the unemployed people, they are degree holders, and
Hmm.
that is a really concerning number. 60% of the population of this country is from the age group of, I think, 20 to 34. So majority of the country is youth, and the youth needs to decide. They need to be asked what is better for their future, and that is what we want to do. We want the government to hear the voices of the youth.
So will you always be a pressure group, or
That's
sometime
what
it
we
might
intend
become
to. That's what we intend to.
you intend to always remain a pressure group and never a political party, or never say
Yeah.
never?
Yeah. Never say never, but that is what we intend to. We want to be a political pressure group because we believe that we are past that point where things can be changed through elections. When the
Hmm.
elections are not fair, how can we look for solutions in the elections? And it is through public movements, peaceful public, democratic public movements, we believe that the much needed change in India will come.
Hmm. So never say never. It could be. I'm not saying that you're going to be a political party, but you're saying never say never. My next question to you is that um, there's a new bill in the parliament as well, which is the anti-paper leak bill, which
Mhm.
is currently being debated in the parliament. Do you see this as a positive change of this movement that, if not anything, even after Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation, the movement doesn't end there, because after that, the issue of education, the issue of paper leaks has become mainstream, has become a national headline, has become so talked about that there's so quickly a bill in the parliament. So first, do you see this as a positive change, and what about the merits of the bill itself?
Yeah, so there is a positive change. The government is finally talking on education, not just the government. The prime minister was so busy with Hindu Muslim politics for last 12 years. Now, every day he's making reels on education. So the youth of this country has kind of forced, compelled him to talk about education. So that is a really big positive sign. And talking about the merits of the bill, none of these are preventive measures. In a way, the government through this bill is assuming that there are going to be paper leaks, and what action should be taken after the paper leak happens. What we want is that the government to ensure that there should be no paper leaks. Only then you can secure the future of the students, only then you can secure the examination. The government needs to focus more on that.
Hmm. And just recently, even in Punjab, in the pharmacy officer exams, there was cheating. Of course, the cheating was caught during the examination, but still, that paper now might be cancelled because of that cheating. And the question is, how could so many people enter with electronic devices into an
Mhm.
examination center? That is definitely a
Yeah,
checking failure. And even in Jharkhand, there's
yeah.
a paper cheating scandal that is coming up. So many of your supporters are also saying that you should also raise a voice for these cheating scandals that are happening in other states.
And of course, we are going to do that. We are of course going to do that. Anywhere there is something related to examination, education, and employment, anything that concerns the youth, we are going to work on it. Whichever party may be in power, we are here to kind of bring a change in the system, irrespective of the political party.
So even for the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab, because
Of
the
course,
BJP
of
is now
course.
the BJP is also staging protests in Delhi, and they are demanding the Punjab education minister's resignation.
I hope they were not brutally lathi charged by the Delhi police if they were
So
protesting.
they
I
were
hope
not.
the good. Of course, how would they? How would they lathi charge on their political bosses?
They were protesting outside the AAP office, demanding Punjab education minister's resignation. Would you
They should.
support that?
It's their democratic right. They should. And we are glad the BJP is finally protesting on education and not on Mandir, Masjid, Hindu, Muslim. This is a very good change.
Would you support that demand for Punjab Education Minister's resignation over this cheating?
I will have to look into it. What is the BJP protesting against? But I am very
It's
glad they are protesting for education. I'm very glad. And if there are any merits into it, we will definitely support it. And I would like to thank the BJP. Finally, education पर बात कर रहे हो आप लोग.
Okay, so you don't know enough about this case as of yet, is
No, no,
what you're
as
saying.
I told you, like I have just come home. I was diagnosed with I was diagnosed with typhoid, and since then I was recovering. I have just came home yesterday, and I have been spending some time with my family. There are too many
Hmm.
relatives and other people coming to meet me. But yes, be it Punjab, be it Jharkhand, be it Maharashtra, wherever it is, if there is anything regarding to any paper leak, examination irregularities, we are going to be there. We don't
Hmm.
care which political party is in power, be it Aam Aadmi Party, be it Congress, be it Shiv Sena, be it Samajwadi Party, whoever it may be.
You also said that now the prime minister is making reels. Now we see that the BJP is focusing a lot on Instagram, because this was a protest that largely happened on Instagram, is what a lot of people are saying. So do you think this protest, along with getting the education minister's resignation, has also sort of ushered in a new form of resistance and dissent in India, through memes, through jokes, through humor? We saw the kind of posters that were also held by these protesters. So, do you think that this starts a new image of protest? Because earlier you would see protests as as politically backed. There would be some cadres who would go at protests, or more often than not, we would see very few people at Jantar Mantar protests. Do you think that will change after this protest that you were leading?
Yes, I think it should be changed in a way that Jantar Mantar did, and that is very essential for the democracy of India. We do need protests back in our country because this government, what they did is that they made protest a bad thing. Anybody who protests, they kind of, andolan jeevi hai, they kind of try to demean whoever trying to protest. And I think what Jantar Mantar has done is they made protest a cool thing, and protest is a cool thing in a healthy democracy.
But in those 36 days, Abhijit, was there a moment when you felt like, I want to call this off now? This is not going anywhere.
I won't lie, every other day our team was having discussion for how long we can carry this, or should we call it off. Every single day, even a day before resignation, Ashu, Saurav, Ratna, Vaishnavi, Afrin all came to me and they are saying, "Boss, kab tak baithega tu?"
Hmm.
like, it has been 36 days, and for how long are we going to continue this protest? And the government is just not ready to budge. So why don't we just call it off? And why don't we just, try other means, maybe go pan India again and try to regather support again? So there were like discussions happening within our group as well, because even we were not sure what is going to happen. But one thing that we realize is that the people are coming from across India. And if the people are ready to come, we cannot back off. We need to sit here. And that is what we went. We went with our gut instinct. And I think that really went in our favor. Because all the logical things, all the, the brain was telling this is not going to happen.
Hmm.
But the heart was saying you have sat here for long enough. Just wait for a while. The people are here. The people are ready to support you. Just stay true to the people and just don't back off. Something will come out of this.
If it wouldn't have happened that day, how many more days would you have continued the protest for?
वी वर प्लानिंग वी वर प्लानिंग कि 15 अगस्त को तिरंगा लहराते जंतर मंतर पर.
अच्छा, तो 15 अगस्त तक कंटिन्यू करने का प्लान
या.
था?
यस.
Okay, and now I want to ask you, Mr. Wangchuk as well.
यस.
He was calling himself an honorary cockroach back then when we spoke to him, and he was on a hunger strike for more than 3 weeks and was a big part of this protest. So many people came to support Mr. Wangchuk and seeing his health condition. Is he a permanent cockroach? Is he still a part of the Cockroach Janta Party, or what is your
This
conversation?
is still very much part, and I think without Sonam sir, none of this would have been able to achieve, because in a way he kind of put his life at risk. In a way, he was ready to sacrifice his life to awaken the nation,
Hmm.
and through that sacrifice, he did awaken this nation. And awaken how? In last 12 years, we have never seen this kind of protest. So biggest credit goes to Sonam sir, and after him to all the students across the country, all the youth across this country who have made this possible. But yes, Sonam sir kind of ignited a flame in this country by risking his life.
My last question to you, Abhijit, what are you now? Are you planning to go back to the US anytime soon and
No, 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 no,
go
not
back
at all.
to
Yeah.
those?
I've been
Not at all.
seeing reels where people are making reels on Channa Mera Ya. कि अच्छा चलता हूँ दुआ में याद रखना. They are making all kind of reels thinking that I have left India, but no, I'm not going back to the US. I'm going to be in my country for good. I'm here for the long haul.
So, are you going to go back to any of those job applications? Going to become a full time politician or going to become a full time activist? What do you
Activist, I
call
can say for
yourself?
sure. Activist for sure. Yes.
So, you're a full
But
time
yeah,
activist.
I'll need to figure out my finances as well. I have a huge education loan on me, which I need to repay. So for that, I might need to do some job or side gigs to keep a steady flow of income.
So, you're going to look for jobs alongside your CJP job.
Yeah, I hope it allows me to do so because I cannot abandon CJP as well. CJP will be my priority. That is for sure.
So, full time activist who'll do a job on the side. What kind of jobs are you looking for,
Yeah, maybe
Abhijit?
I can get into
Of those?
consultancy or something like अगर मैं consultancy कर लेता हूँ where I don't need to do a regular job, I can just use my expertise which is communications and public relations. अगर कोई देख रहा है ये वीडियो तो भाई कुछ opportunities होगी तो बता दो.
Where to reach out to you? How can they hire you?
I'll give out my email ID not here, but I'll give it out to Priyanshi. You can get it from Priyanshi.
Okay, so now that you've mentioned funding, I want to ask you that at Jantar Mantar, we saw that many people used to come with water, with supplies,
Yes.
with food, and we've seen so many people used to come donate money also. We
Hmm.
also used to be shocked where so many people coming from and why they giving their time and their resources. But now, how will the CJP sustain? Now, will the CJP be able to sustain with the money that you collected in that 1 month at Jantar Mantar, or how else are you going to raise funding?
We are obviously going to the people because we cannot sustain it. None of us have that kind of money. It was because of the people we were able to sustain this movement for so long. But for the CJP to continue in the future, we will most probably do crowdfunding.
And till now, how much money have you collected, if I can ask that?
I cannot give you the exact figure, but the daily average was that in every 2 days we were getting some donations about like 1.5 lakh to between 2 lakhs.
Every 2 days, you were getting 1.5
Yes.
lakhs.
Yeah. When people were just donating the
Over
money and
those,
they were, yeah, they were just donating the
over
money
those
and they were
30,
saying this is for raincoats, this is for food, this is for water, this is for snacks.
okay, this is 30 for 36 days, you were getting almost this much money, which would be around
हाँ, मतलब
60,
कभी-कभी
70
कम भी
lakh.
हो जाता है, like depends on the crowd. If the crowd was large, then we used to get more money. If the crowd was less, then we used to get some 30, 40 thousands. But of course, मतलब जैसी चीजें चल रही थी, it was like a big task to sustain this movement. But I'm really glad the people stepped up and they helped us to run this movement because it wouldn't have been possible.
Hmm. So it would be around 60, 70 lakhs, if I'm not wrong,
No, I don't think
during that
उतना
time.
ज़्यादा भी हुआ होगा. I don't think. But I'm getting to the figures. I'm getting to the figures. I will give you the final figures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lastly, just tell me your one moment from this protest that will always stay with you, that you will never forget.
The brutality on 20th July.
Hmm.
That's a very
And the
bad
number of,
memory. That's a very bad memory to carry from the protest. But that is one of the because I have never seen such brutality in my life ever. Little
hmm,
girls as young as 12 years old were beaten up by the police in front of my eyes. A police officer, male police officer, grabbed the neck of a girl in front of my eyes. There were people lying with broken hands, broken limbs in front of me.
hmm.
That really kind of broken me apart. This shouldn't
And
have
do you
happened.
and do you think that it could have been managed better? Do you think that you guys didn't expect those many people to show up?
I
Because
don't
that
get
is
it,
also a
Priyanshi.
criticism that a lot of these protesters.
Whenever any political party protest, the police usually uses water cannon gun. We have never seen them using pellet guns. We have never seen use them lathis where they kind of embed nails on them. Why did the police resort to lathis in such a brutal way where the police will police will directly aim at the heads of the students. And they were not satisfied by that. They even used pellet guns.
Right. So you're saying that that was your worst memory, and that you didn't expect all of that. But when we spoke to those protesters, and this is something we've asked you as well, Abhijit, that some of those protesters said that we were missing the CJP leadership there. We didn't see them there. So do you think, in that sense, it could be managed better?
And also, the thing is that the government played it very smartly. I was there at Jantar Mantar. Saurav and Ashutosh were called by the government to have talks, and they were kind of house arrested. They were kept there for 5 hours, where the government spoke to them only for 10 minutes. Why would you keep someone for 5 hours and speak to them only for 10 minutes? So,
Yep.
all of our spokesperson, Vaishnavi, Afrin, Ratna, I was there at Jantar Mantar personally. Gitanjali ma'am was there herself. Saurav and Ashu were not there because the government invited them for talks and they kept them for 5 hours. And in those 5 hours, the government talked to them only for 10 minutes. So the government kind of tried to isolate me at Jantar Mantar. So they were very cunning in that. They kind of trapped us. But this is a very wrong conception because there were jammers, and because
Mm.
of that we could not upload any visuals or update anything. But I was personally there at Jantar Mantar with Afrin, Vaishnavi, and Ratna. Afrin got beaten up by the cops. Male police officers have beaten up Afrin, who is one of our spokesperson.
Mm.
And the cops even came to attack Gitanjali Wangchuk. And when they came to attack her, I kind of jumped in to save her. Even I received one lathi on my shoulder. It was not as brutal as other students, but even I got hit while trying to protect her. So we were all there at ground zero. Saurav
Mm.
and Ashutosh were called by the government. So it's a very wrong misconception that the CJP was missing from the protest.
So you don't think that there was any mismanagement or anything that could have been done better? Because the next morning you also said, I would like to apologize, and we
I
could have
wanted
done
to
something
apologize to
better.
the girls. I want to apologize to the girls. I wanted to because they got beaten up really bad by the police officers, and somewhere it was my responsibility to protect them, and I was not able to.
Mm.
And I would still like to apologize to all the people who were injured. This shouldn't have
Mm.
happened.
You've spoken about the one moment you will not forget, but let's just flip sides. One moment that was really heartwarming, or that'll stay with you in a positive sense.
Uh, so after the whole thing that happened, the brutality, not many people know this because there were no media, there were no signal at Jantar Mantar. I was sitting alone at the footpath near Kerala House. Everybody has left. Everybody. There was not even a
This
single
is
soul
on
that was left.
this is
20th
on
July night,
Saturday at
around
night.
at night, around 9:30 p.m.
Mm.
Everybody had left. I was sitting on the footpath near Kerala House. The watchman came and he was kind of, यहाँ से दूर बैठो यहाँ मत बैठो. So I just got up from there and I sat somewhere ahead, and I just held my head. And I was like, for 1 month we were able to sustain this movement. It was getting bigger, and today everything has ended. I was in tears
Mm.
and I was sitting there alone, and nobody knew I
This
was
was
sitting there
on
because there was 20th
this
July
was on
night
20th after the police brutality.
after the police brutality. That's right.
Mm.
So I was sitting there alone and I was kind of, in tears, thinking that everything has like collapsed. Sab khatam ho gaya hai. And I had tears in my eyes. Then one of my team members came to me and said कि भैया अब तो हो गया सब कुछ, लोग भी चले जा चुके हैं, लाइक खत्म हो गया सब कुछ, इन लोगों ने तबाह कर दिया, अब आप
Mm.
क्या करोगे, आप चलो घर पर चलो थोड़ा आराम कर लो. देन आई वाज लाइक, नो वी कैन नॉट लीव दिस फील्ड. देन ही वाज लाइक, कोई भी नहीं, क्या करोगे रुक कर. I was like, no, I cannot leave. They want me to leave. This is exactly what they want. But I won't leave Jantar Mantar. If they have to make me leave, they will have to arrest me. So I just sat there for a while. And after that, I saw suddenly people started recognizing me and they were like, Arey Abhijit yahan par baitha hai. Because it was totally dark. Nobody was able to see me.
Mm.
And they suddenly started noticing me कि यार अभिजीत यहाँ पर बैठा हुआ है. Then one by one people started to gather around me, and suddenly there was a group of 30 to 40 people who were talking to me and who were telling me कि Whatever you decide. If you want to sit here today, we will sit with you. If you want to go home, we can understand that as well. We won't blame you. But if you want to sit, we are ready to sit with you. And those 40 people sat with me, and then that 40 people in 1 hour got converted into 150, 200 people. And then 200 people gathered and they sat there. And after that, I started hearing the slogans from outside the barricades,
Mm.
who were still chanting Dharmendra Pradhan Istifa Do, Inqilab Zindabad. And once those slogans got on my ears, I was like, yes, the people are still there. Nobody has left. The police was not allowing them to leave. Sorry, the police was not allowing them to enter Jantar Mantar. But as soon as I heard the slogans, एक बोलते ना वापस से सांस वापस आ गई मेरी कि this is not the end. And
Mm.
somehow we were able to reclaim Jantar Mantar again, and that was the turning point. If we had left Jantar Mantar at that night, maybe we wouldn't have got the resignation. So that was the big turning point, where I didn't leave, the people didn't leave, and we reclaimed Jantar Mantar again. That will always
And
stay with me. Like एक होप थी जो पूरी मर चुकी थी मेरी 9:30 बजे, मैं अकेला फुटपाथ पर बैठकर रो रहा था कि सब चले गए, सब खत्म हो गया, कोई नहीं है. एंड विद इन नेक्स्ट 2 आवर्स जंतर मंतर फिर से भर गया. वो जो शिफ्ट था, वो जो लाइक दैट वाज रियली, दैट वाज मैजिकल फॉर मी.
the next day, there were so many people back at Jantar Mantar, and Jantar
पैकेज
Mantar was fully packed.
यस.
Yeah.
So yeah, something divine was happening. As I said, you know that we didn't mobilize people at all. We didn't have the means to mobilize people. But still,
Mm.
all these people came and they stood there until they got the resignation. So, salute to all those people, yeah. I mean, really. At one
Yeah.
point of time, even my own hopes died, but it's the people who gave me the hope back.
And we saw that, I think, 15th or 10th, 15th day of the protest, when it also used to rain, there used to be barely 40, 50 people at Jantar Mantar. So there were such days also when there were
Yes,
very few people at the protest. So from that to more than a lakh people coming on
yes,
20th, and then people continuing to come despite police brutality, showed you that it was the people that were driving this movement.
yes. Those 40 people who were there when it was raining, they inspired the thousands and lakhs of people who came on the 20th.
Mm.
It was the resilience of those people.
And those many people who came on 20th, I don't think even you expected 1 lakh
I
people
had
to
no
come.
clue. At max, we were expecting 10 to 15,000.
So would you credit this entire victory of the CJP to the youth, to the people who showed up, the sheer
Yes,
volume of
the
the number of
victory
people who hit the grounds?
the victory truly belongs to the people of India. Because had this movement not got bigger than CJP, Abhijeet, or Sonam sir, we wouldn't have been able to achieve this victory. We were only able to achieve this only because the people made it a people's movement, as they should, and we are truly happy about it. We nowhere want to keep it limited to us.
And now we are seeing Gen Alpha is also protesting in some parts of the country. You see school
I mean,
kids who are raising
that's
slogans.
really fascinating and inspiring, yaar. I mean, man, I had goosebumps when I was watching those young girls marching on the streets of Rajasthan demanding for more teachers, because I saw the video, they didn't have enough teaching staff, and I had goosebumps on my, like, I was like, what is happening in this country? People are finally, and not just people, the young kids, even they are no longer afraid of getting on the streets and questioning the government.
So one sort of change of this protest has also been removing that fear of the police,
Fear.
of the
I
state
think that is the
from the
biggest
minds
change.
of
That
people.
is the biggest change. More than Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation, the biggest achievement of this movement has been that people are no longer afraid to get out on the streets and question this government.
And people are no longer afraid of police brutality also, because they've
Brutality.
seen what's the worst that can happen.
Yeah. If you will get brutal, we'll get savage and mock you.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, Abhijeet, for joining us, for speaking to Peak TV. And of course, we'll see whether you stick to that statement of never becoming a politician, or not becoming a politician for now. Let's see till when does that stay true, or do you end up becoming a politician
I hope I
someday or
don't.
the other?
I hope I don't.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Bye bye. Bye bye.